Okay, we're good to go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you, thank you, thank you. That's something I haven't said in such a long time, but it feels really good to say it. My name is Matthew. This is Matt TV, and really looking forward to the conversation that I am about to have with. Now, you have to understand the young lady that I'm bringing into the show tonight. We've never met. We've only exchanged messages back and forth over the last 48 hours since Monday. Uh, Natasha Young. She just sent me a message. We have been in communication. I'm just waiting for Natasha to get into the green room, and then I'll bring her into the show. But in the meantime, there she is. Natasha is here. She's in the green room. Natasha, if you can hear me, just give me a wave. Okay, so Natasha is here. She's in the green room. I'll bring her in just a couple of moments. Like I said, I want you to understand that I came across Natasha's name Monday when I was going through my own Facebook news feed. The CBC had featured a story on Natasha's incredible journey. And so I reached out to Natasha, and we're going to talk about the last couple of years and what she's up to currently. So, thank you for the live views. We're going to talk about the latest COVID update here in Nova Scotia that happened today. And we're also going to talk about a major snowstorm that is heading our way for the weekend. We'll talk about that after we bring in my guest for the evening. Add to the stream. Pardon my fingers. Hello, Natasha. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Listen, thank you so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
So you are in. So I just want to start with the current situation now. You are in, and I'm just looking at some notes here. You are in Northfield, Nova Scotia. That's East Hants County. You're about 70 minutes away from here.
Oh, I don't, it's in Lunenburg County.
Lunenburg County. Okay, okay,
Yeah, there may be, I think there actually is two Northfields in Nova Scotia.
okay. So you're
Possible.
not. Are you? So you're not near the Cobequid Bay.
No.
So you're down near the Lunenburg area.
Yeah, yep,
Okay, okay, perfect. I didn't know
yeah.
there were now. I know that there's two Northfields in Nova Scotia.
Right?
So I was telling people before I brought you into the broadcast that we this is the first time that you and I are actually communicating and actually hearing each other's voices.
Yep.
The CBC did a story on you because you are a second year Toronto film student. You're in your second year, and your final project is in this documentary class.
Mm-hmm.
Your last project is going to be on the housing crisis here in Nova Scotia. But there is so much to you before we actually get to that.
Yeah.
So let's just backtrack. I really want to give you the platform to tell your story. I know you've documented your story. You've
Mm-hmm.
talked to the CBC, but this is an opportunity for people to actually hear your emotions, see your emotions, so that we really get an idea of what you went through
Mm-hmm.
starting in March of 2020. So let's go back to March of 2020. You are in Calgary. A pandemic hits. You want to move closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
What transpires after that?
Well, we literally packed our whole apartment and put it in a storage unit and drove across the country in 3.5 days. We literally just made the border before like they had the restrictions, like the provincial restrictions.
Okay.
So we didn't have a place to stay here. We had no clue where we were going to stay, but we have a family, right? So
Okay.
that was good. So we get in Nova Scotia, and I just go on Airbnb, and I'm just looking for Airbnbs just for a place to stay for like, a couple weeks until we find a spot. And we found a really great little cottage in Mahone Bay, which was really great. And then it started. We started looking for a place to live permanently, and we couldn't find anything. Like there was really nothing available. Um, we really lucked out because it was a pandemic. The Airbnb host kind of got a little nervous and was like, I'm not sure. I'm already getting cancellations, whatever. I'm like, well, could we get like a longer term stay? So, pardon me, we were able to stay there for 3 months, which was great. And then we were able to find a rental in Mahone Bay for just a 6 month period. So we've been actively like looking for places to live for like this 3 month period of living in an Airbnb. And then the next thing that we found was just a short term 6 month kind of rental. So we moved there. And then after that, it was coming winter, and there was an ad on. We're continuously actively looking because we knew we had to move again. The countdown was on
Mhm.
as soon as we moved in. So I was looking, and there was this Airbnb hosted on like Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give a call. I'm gonna see if there's any way, like, do they rent it in the winter? Is it available? So I actually like really did a lot of convincing. The owner like just rents it out in the summer, but he's in Ontario. And I just basically like convinced him to let us spend the winter there, and that we'll get out whenever you need us to. We just need a spot to stay because we can't find anything else. And he agreed. And we knew we had to be out for May last year. And so we were continuously looking again. The countdown was on as soon as we moved in, and we couldn't find anything. And we got like really, really scared because we just had no other option. And we've been kind of like researching tiny homes and school buses. So we were already kind of familiar with that whole concept of like schoolie life.
Mhm.
So it was just a very impulsive decision, really driven on fear of being homeless. And we bought a bus. And
Yes, but I think people should know that. Like, just tell me the decision that went into that, because in the story,
mhm,
you mentioned that the money that you put towards that bus that you converted into the schoolie, that
mhm,
money you were saving to buy land. So
right.
how? Like, just tell me a little bit more about the decision into just saying, okay, no land, schoolie, or we're going to be homeless.
Right. So basically, it was like buy a piece of land and live in a tent on a piece of land that we own, right? Or buy a school bus that we can kind of drive to a campground or park on my family's land or something like that. So it was really kind of that tough decision because we've been working really hard to like save for land, and just when we're just kind of there, we're we're kind of not, and we're really faced with that tough decision. And but I do believe we made the right decision. And it was yeah, so we had 3 months to build the bus, to like demo it and to get it ready. Cause I know. And so it wasn't even completely finished when we were living in it, but we had it like just well enough to feel comfortable. And that's a big reason why we stayed at a campground in like a seasonal spot for like their power hookup and their sewer hookup. And like, there were showers there and like washrooms there and kind of all the amenities that we would need for kind of everyday life. So it worked out. It did work out. So yeah, that's kind of
Uh,
how.
were you? What's your boyfriend's name?
My husband's name is Adam.
Your husband, Adam.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, were you and Adam aware that there was a housing crisis in Nova Scotia before coming back?
Yes, yes and no. We thought like anything, it's just a challenge that we're gonna have to overcome. But we have really great like rental references. So, and the money for a down payment and first month's rent and damage and all of that. So we didn't think any of that was going to be an issue. But yeah, like we didn't realize how bad it actually was until we got here. And even looking for a spot, we've had some people be like, hey, well, you know, it's posted for like, let's just say 13, $1,400, but the last people offered me like 1450, right? And then you're at a point where it's like you're kind of bidding on a rental unit, and the
Yeah.
highest bidder kind of gets it, which is really unfortunate.
Hmm.
And I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now you've experienced the housing crisis firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you enroll in the Toronto Film School in October of 2020. So
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic is on it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
What was film school something that you had already thought of, or did the pandemic have anything to do with you getting into film school? Just kind of fill me in on that.
Well, when I was in Calgary before we moved home in March of 2020, I was at SAIT. And I was taking photography and digital marketing, and videography is something that I've always loved to do before I even, took the course. And I just thought it would be the pandemic did have something to do with it because I just really want to work for myself. So, with photography, digital marketing, like the next thing would be kind of film to really kind of bring the whole package together of just a creator.
Yes.
So I just thought it would be something really great because I could do it remotely and, I wouldn't have to go to school, and it would be kind of like the perfect opportunity. The pandemic's hitting, go to school remotely and, do photography and videography on the side and just kind of continuously build my skills until school was over, and then kind of hammer down on creating a business for myself, I guess.
So this, I want to go back to this. You're in your second year. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you are getting ready for your final project, and you're doing it on the housing crisis. You've lived it, you've experienced it. There was something I wanted to ask you specifically, and I just want to find it here. Actually, before I get to that,
Okay.
I didn't realize how quickly things happened from March to you being back and experiencing everything that you experienced. So I just want to throw out a few adjectives, and
Okay.
I want you to see if you can place those adjectives on a timeline when maybe you were feeling, for example, the anxiety, anger, frustration, confusion. Like, did any of that? You must have, like, everyone's mental health has been kicked around. So I'm just
Absolutely.
wondering, like, how you are. If you don't mind, like, walk us through the
No,
process, like some of the feelings that you had.
honestly, it can be really overwhelming at times and very frustrating, and very like just the feeling of just being defeated, like you just feel defeated, like you're trying to get ahead, but your surroundings and kind of your where you're living is just kind of holding you back, and it's just always a state of, I guess, survival, like you're just always, for us, it's just, we've always been looking for that place to live, a place to call home, and we saved, we were saving for land. So it was very like frustrating and kind of angry that, we had to switch our plans and, build a school bus so we wouldn't be homeless. Confusion, definitely, I'd say, like, kind of like the whole way through, it's just very like mind-boggling how this housing crisis has not been addressed, like just like the pandemic is a crisis, the housing crisis is kind of the same thing. Like it should be the same kind of deal, like there's so many homeless people and so many people, like, just their lives are just continuously being uproared, and what was the
Before you
other adjective?
continue, sorry,
Go ahead.
before you go on, because I really just want to get into the documentary. I want to know what stage you're at, and just kind of give us behind the scenes. But I do want to share this with you and people that are watching. This is from today's paper, so I just want to give you some stats on what's happening, how the Nova Scotia government is helping out right now. You probably are aware of this, but back in October, the province contributed $35 million toward affordable housing, looking to construct 1,100 new units. Someone who's doing a documentary in the housing crisis, when I read that statement to you, is that not good enough? Is it a good start? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's a good start. It is a good start that, it's starting to be recognized, and, they're starting to put money into it. But with anything, like, the money's there, it's now putting that money into, action, and to be able to see results, and, to for people's lives to start changing for the better. Um, so it's not going to happen overnight, but it definitely is a good start for sure.
Okay. Okay, just quickly, I like to keep my shows around the 20-minute mark.
Yep.
So let's just talk about the documentary. Where are you in this project? Have you already started to interview people? And before you answer that, I just want to ask, do you think that this process, because you've experienced it firsthand,
Hmm.
I would have to think that there would have to be, like, obviously it's an eye opener, but
Hmm.
I'm hoping that it might give you some kind of healing, hearing other stories from people, knowing that you're not going through this, and that you're going to be a voice, you're going to be an advocate for this. So
It
where are you?
honestly,
Where are you?
yeah, no, honestly, and being a film student and like kind of having really cool projects like this that I can like really be passionate about, and it's something that, I've experienced firsthand that I can relate to people that, I'm going to be interviewing with and, hearing their story. Um, so yeah, so for the documentary, I had to get the green light for the topic, and so probably about a week and a half ago, I got the green light from my instructor. So it's due at the end of the term, which is about 8 weeks from now. So I have 2 months to do it. And at first I was like, oh my goodness, am I biting off more than I can chew for, this school assignment? And, I'm not. I'm just keeping it in my mind that I'm not. And I'm, like you said, just really being that like advocate and that voice. So the stage that I'm at right now is just like kind of gathering that information and doing some, research and really just putting feelers out there to get like, networks and like people who want to, interview with me and tell me their story and all of that. So, and I've also been, just behind the scenes working on my own kind of like visuals for how I want to film it, and just kind of like story blocking, and just it's going to be an expository documentary, so just really trying to keep it within that theme, and also how I'm going to like just fit all of the little pieces of the syllabus into it. So yeah, it's just in the planning stages, I'm gonna say right now, but hopefully within the next like couple weeks, I'm gonna start like doing the hard like interviews and like B-shot roles, and just gathering more content for it, I guess. So I just really wanted to start early because it's like a really big project, really big assignment, and um, it's a really big topic too. So
Yes, it
yeah.
is, and I'm glad that you're tackling it. That's
Thank
excellent.
you. I'm excited. I really am. So it's going to be great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
One final thing,
Okay.
and it's a yes or no.
Okay.
Yes or no. Yes or no, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Uh, are you proud of everything that you've accomplished since March of 2020? Looking at everything that you've been through and where you are right now, are you
Yes.
proud? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'd have to say yes.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Thank you so
uh,
much.
Natasha, I really, we're coming up on the 20-minute mark. That's
Yep.
what I like to keep it at. Listen, I so appreciate you taking the time out of your night from Lunenburg County, just down the
Yep.
coast. I'm here in North End, Halifax. I'm so glad that I was scrolling through Facebook, came across your story. I'm glad that I reached out to you. And
Me too. Thank you so much for having me. It was super great.
yes, please share this
I will.
and just all the best. Oh, sorry, one, like, any idea what your next project's going to be? Just I have to know. Like,
For film
for like,
school or for
yeah,
the
for like your
bus,
doc,
or
because you're
like,
taking a documentary class. That's what you want to do. I see that's you're a
yeah.
storyteller, right?
Yeah, so like it's the documentary course is just for like this term. So I'm not sure what my next assignments will be, but like I just have a couple like little mini assignments due before like this final big assignment. And it's just small, like kind of showcasing like poetic documentary styles, and just so they're just like short 1-2 minute kind of, how you're filming your b-roll shot and stuff. But I'll definitely keep you updated next term, see what courses come up and see what assignments come up. But I always get thrown some really pretty fun pretty fun
Well,
assignments for sure.
I'd love to stay in touch. Love to have you back on the show whenever.
Perfect.
Follow your career.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
That was amazing. And you know what I did? I did the classic. I did the classic Grant thing. I said goodbye, and we were going to end it, and then I had to ask another question, and it continued for another couple of minutes. Okay, we're approaching the 21-minute mark. I just want to mention a couple of things. There was a COVID-19 update today from the Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston and the Chief Medical Officer Dr. Robert Strang. It's the first time in a long time that I actually see light at the end of the tunnel. It was, we still have a ways to go, but I see a light at the end of the tunnel. And just for all the Maritimers who are watching this, people in Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, there is a big storm. There's a big nor'easter that is headed our way. Should make landfall maybe late Friday night, Saturday, definitely into Sunday. So lots of snow, freezing rain, ice pellets. So it's going to be pretty nasty over the weekend. And this is a message for those in my hometown of Woodstock, New Brunswick, Carleton County, Northwest New Brunswick. There's like 3 warnings in place right now from Environment Canada for northern New Brunswick. There is an extreme weather advisory, wind chill, minus 35, minus 40, minus 45. It is absolutely ridiculous to have to be outside tonight. That being said, if you have a pet, make sure your pet is inside tonight. Okay? That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much to Natasha Young in Northfield, Nova Scotia, in beautiful Lunenburg County. Amazing stuff. I wish her nothing but the best. And I'm thinking she's probably going to get an A+ on this final exam, where she is going to have a hard look at the housing crisis here in Nova Scotia. Okay, that's going to do it for me. That was a fun night. Thanks again, Natasha. My name is Matthew. This is MattTv, now and always from sea to sea.